My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is May 17th, 2023. It is 2:47 a.m. So I was trying to finish some videos that I started, and it took me a while. And some of them have I'm uploading right now. There's this one, I didn't do the thumbnails for it yet, and I have this one. This is the one that was taking much of my time, 3 minutes and 32 seconds. That's regarding the award that Meghan, Miss Doria, and Harry went, and I put something together really quickly because I don't think I'm gonna get to the tweet anytime soon. So I wanted to tackle the phone hacking and some security issues first. They are more important. So this video here about last night pretty much sums up everything. It's like a little music video, but it sums up pretty much what happened, because we don't have any insight of what went on inside the award until, I don't know, some major network airs it or something like that. Okay, so let's go on Twitter and let's focus. There's this is what I use for my for that okay, so where was I? There's a lot of tweet regarding the award, but I don't want to focus on it right now. Let's focus on the security aspect of things, and this is why I did the 3-minute video to sort of put everything all at once. I'll make it public sometimes later in the afternoon. Okay, Prince Harry is mounting a fresh legal challenge against the Home Office over the decision to bar him from paying for a police security detail during trips to the UK. So I'm gonna go in it. The link will be in the description. I will read maybe the first few paragraphs. If it's interesting, I'll read everything. I don't know yet, but I want to know what's going on because I've been paying attention to that. Okay, so Prince Harry mounts, okay, I just read that. Prince Harry mounts High Court challenge over police security arrangements. Okay, Prince Harry is mounting a second legal challenge against the Home Office over the decision to bar him. The thing is shifting. To bar him from paying for a police security detail during trips to the UK. The Duke of Sussex lost his right to security protection when he and wife Meghan. This is freaking annoying. The thing is shifting. The Duke of Sussex lost his right to security protection when he and wife Meghan stood down as working royals and left the UK. Okay, a decision was then taken that the prince could not privately fund Metropolitan Police protection for him and his family in the future after being told officers were not guns for hire. Okay, Harry was granted permission in July last year to bring a first judicial review over that. Oh my God, this thing is annoying. It's shifting. It keeps on shifting. How do I close this thing? If it's doing that, I'm just gonna leave it. You guys could read it, because each time I'm focused on one thing and then the thing shifts. Look at this. It's doing it again. All right, where was I? Okay. Harry was granted permission in July last year to bring a first judicial review over the decision, which had been taken by the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figure, RAVEC. Okay, if you're new on my channel, I have another channel which is demonetized at the moment, where I spoke a lot about security issues, what RAVEC is, and all of that. Okay, the 5 eyes, all of this. Okay, at some point I will go back to pure YTE, but most of this information are on that channel. Okay, at the High Court on Tuesday, the Duke mounted a second legal challenge, arguing the question of paying for protection should not have been delegated to RAVEC by the Home Office. Lawyers for the prince said he was not given any opportunity to make a representation to RAVEC and to comment on any representation RAVEC took into account before the funding decision was made. He also argues there is a power for a police chief to decide that special police services can be privately paid for by an individual, which is true. What is it? Kate Moss, I believe, I spoke about it, when she was getting married, she hired police, all right, for her wedding and all of that. Okay, permission to bring the second judicial review challenge was denied by a judge in February after consideration of the prince's submissions and writing. Okay, Shovid Fatima Casey, leading Harry's legal team, is now making a fresh application to bring forward the challenge at a high court hearing today. In response, Robert Palmer Casey, representing the Home Secretary, urged the court to uphold the judge's original decision and throw out Harry's case. RAVEC was entitled, and did correct, to characterize there being significant legal uncertainty as to whether or not the provision of protective security including firearms, falls within the scope of Section 25 of the Police Act 1996 at all, he said in writing submission. Quote, the claimant has identified no case law, guidance, or practice which addresses this type of scenario and suggests otherwise. RAVEC was entitled to take account of that uncertainty as relevant to whether a decision which favored the use of private funding could actually be delivered. It was not obliged to reach a purported authoritative view. The Home Office said the decision to black Harry's security detail was rational and well within the permissible range of decision open to RAVEC. Man, for for a son of a king. Wow. Now, people should ask themselves, was Diana did actually deny having security? Because that was the nonsense they gave us. Knowing what we know now, everything that comes out of these people's mouths are lies. So I'm starting to question if Princess Diana did in fact requested not to have any security. My goodness.
If I remember rightly, as someone, because I hadn't passed any O-levels and taken any A-levels, I was stupid. And I made the grave mistake once of saying to a child I was thick as a plank in order to ease the child's nervousness, of which it did. But that headline went all around the world, and I rather regret saying it.
The Prince of Wales, in the biography, is described as a great thinker, a man with a tremendous range of interests. What did he think of your interests?
Well, I don't think I was allowed to have any. I think that I've always been the 18-year-old girl he got engaged to, so I don't think I've been given any credit for growth. And my goodness, I've had to grow.
By the December of that year, as you say, you'd agreed to a legal separation.
Mm-hmm.
What were your feelings at the time?
Deep, deep, profound sadness. We had struggled to keep it going, but obviously we both run out of steam. And in a way, I suppose it could have been a relief for us both that we'd finally made our minds up. But my husband asked for separation, and I supported it.
It was not your idea?
No, not at all. I come from a divorced background, and I didn't want to go into that one again.
What happened next?
I asked my husband if we could put the announcement out before the children came back for school for Christmas holidays, because they were protected in the school they were at. And he did that. And it came out on December the 9th. I was on an engagement up north. I heard it on the radio. And it was just very, very sad. Really sad. A fairy tale had come to an end. And most importantly, our marriage had taken a turn. Different turn. People were... When I say people, I mean friends on my husband's side were indicating that I was, again, unstable, sick, and should be put in a home of some sort in order to get better. I was almost an embarrassment.
Do you think he really thought that?
Well, there's no better way to dismantle a personality than to isolate it.
So you were isolated?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to thank Lord Dyson and his team for the report. It is welcome that the BBC accepts Lord Dyson's findings in full, which are extremely concerning. That BBC employees lied and used fake documents to obtain the interview with my mother.
People were, when I say people, I mean friends on my husband's side were indicating that I was, again, unstable.
Made lurid and false claims about the royal family.
Sick, and should be put in a home of some sort in order to get better.
Which played on her fears and fueled paranoia.
RAVEC was not required to offer the claimant the opportunity to make representations in relation to the funding decision, and given the nature of the argument now advanced by the claimant, the court can be confident that such representation will have been highly likely to have made no substantial difference in any event, they added. Now, to take all this account, the effort to not provide him security, when in fact he said he's gonna pay for it. The amount, if Charles was a loving father, don't you think he will have a say on that? My goodness, to deny him security, everybody shut their mouth, and then they're making it even extra difficult for him to get it. People need to ask themselves, what is Charles' best interest? Does he really care about his son? And I understand some people saying, oh, he's talking this, he's doing that, he wrote a book, he was a that. So what? Charles have books before about his own mother or his parents and stuff like that. My goodness, Harry is fighting on two fronts in the High Court on Tuesday, with 7 weeks phone hacking trial against Mirror Group newspapers ongoing in another part of the Royal Court of Justice and separate legal cases. The Prince is also suing the owners of the Sun and Daily Mail newspapers over claim of unlawful news gathering against him. Okay, the link will be in the description just in case, I don't know, you don't understand some of the thing, my pronunciation. Okay, so let's go back to Twitter and see what some of the people are saying under this tweet. Okay, why don't King Charles III put a stop to this madness? Thank you. I didn't even see this. I didn't even read that. Yes, if he truly loved his son, whatever he said during his coronation or whatever, it was just lip service. Why doesn't he put a stop to this? And I'm assuming for him, okay, this just came to mind, because these people never give anything for free. Look how much they, well, I don't know what went on behind the scene in terms of the fragment and all of that, but there's a give me or like some sort of an exchange. You do this or I do that. Maybe Harry refuse everything, right? I'm assuming Charles probably, humble opinion, I'm not putting word in his mouth, humble opinion, there's a possibility Charles probably said, if you don't do certain things, I'll give you security. And Harry probably said, no, I deserve security because I'm your son. This kind of thing. And Harry probably said, I'll still continue to do whatever I want in terms of whatever it might be. This is what I think. Okay? So he's making it extra difficult for him. Let's do that boomerang. Whatever he wishes on Harry, return tenfold back on him. He's a baggage for God. And as I'm editing this video, I hope you saw the notes that I put on the screen where by now everybody knows there was a chase after the award. And I have my suspicion, but I don't want to say it because I don't have proof. The thing that I was thinking is that when Meghan and Harry were getting married, and Charles took advantage of that situation to get part of the spotlight, you know, to walk her down the aisle. I'm wondering, have anybody ever asked him any question about this? If he felt so strong not providing them security, what was the purpose of him walking Meghan down the aisle? What was the purpose of that? Baggage for God, baggage for God. Right along with everybody else who's making Harry's life a living hell. Okay, so that's that. Is it a surprise that Edward Young stepped down from his role yesterday? A very dangerous individual who allegedly lies to and manipulate Queen Elizabeth. Imagine accused pedophile Prince Andrew guaranteed security over 8-month-old child, sixth in line to the throne. What with Edward Young? Okay, because there was an article that says it was him. It was Andrew and Charles who put heads together to overwrite, okay, the Queen's decision to keep her original secretary, okay, whichever Edward Young have replaced, okay. Charles and Andrew overwrite the Queen because the guy, whoever was there before, the secretary that was there before, will not give Charles and Andrew whatever they want, because his focus was to protect the crown and pretty much, I guess, follow order of the Queen. Okay, so this guy, Edward Young, based on the article, it was stated, I'm paraphrasing, that he was much easier to manipulate, or in another word, pretty much do what Charles or Andrew want out of them. So pretty much he's just a figure, and whatever, in my humble opinion, he's just a figurehead in the position, but Charles is pretty much dictating to him what to do. This is what I think. Okay, but still, if push come to shove, he's an adult, he should know better. Okay, let's see here. You call it when you take away Prince Harry's security and leak to the world his location. Okay, imagine having a credible, substantiated threat against your family because of your royal status, then having your racist royal family remove your security and prevent you from paying for it yourself. Yeah, what the hell did they want from the Montecito royals, King Charles, the crew? Okay, take away their title. Why on earth is King Charles allowing them to have title while trashing the, okay, whatever they claim he's trashing, because he hasn't done anything. Okay, Harry has not trashed his family. As a matter of fact, we know much more that he could have written in the book. Maybe it's part of the 400 pages. Okay, let's see here. Take away their title. Why on earth is King Charles allowed them to have the title and trashing the royal family or monarchy? What are they doing for the people of Sussex? Why are, this is something you should ask for Charles. The same question you asking what Harry's doing. I think he's doing much more. Okay, all those charities around the world, including back in the UK, where Charles don't even want him to be there. Okay, he's still doing charitable work for people in the UK.
little white.
You tell you what, you sound just like my son Archie.
Really?
The same little squeaky voice. I love it.
Did you always embrace this role and responsibility?
No, I don't think I understood it. I think what happened to my mum probably put me a step back, thinking, well, how could someone who did so much for the world and did so much for everybody else could be treated like that by a certain institution? So.
Okay, but meanwhile, the other working royals, their charity are closing off, or they already closed off. Okay, all this question you're asking about Harry, you should ask the royal family. Okay, why aren't they outraged? That's what I'm wondering. Why the UK is not outraged about the royal family? Let's see here. Okay, about as much as William is doing or did for the Wales. Thank you. Might want to do your homework on that way. You should do yours as well, because there's a whole bunch of lists of charities I need to do background on. Okay, there's a big difference between trashing the family and telling the truth about corruption. Your royals or taxpayers funded employees who should be under government oversight. Okay, they offered, Elizabeth said no. They were for them. It's probably the one request of Charles' mother's he can change. Okay, there's that. All right, Megan, look a fucking idiot. All right, let's go back to the main one. Okay, Princess Diana died. They claim she refused security. Her son is fighting for security, which he wants to pay with his money. Did Diana? This is the thing I'm asking myself right now. Did Diana refuse security, or was she denied security to provide an excuse for her murder? This is what I'm saying too. Okay, she refused. Nah, a dead person cannot speak. Look at her own son, the other brother, okay, the future heir to the monarch, calling her paranoid, when in fact you hear from her own word what they were trying to do to her. Okay, so a dead person cannot speak regarding that. Okay, she refused it, but did so because of all the behind the scenes weaponization. This is the nonsense the tabloid put of it by the men in gray, as she referred to the institution. Yeah, I've heard of this same narrative. This is the narrative that they put out there. So I know the scene now. I understand the royal rats, all the major UK tabloid, how they managed to put their narrative out there. Okay, this is the same thing that I've heard. Okay, so it's not true. I'm gonna debunk it because Diana never said a thing about that. Okay, why are they denying the son security, which he wants to pay with his own money, if they knew lack of adequate security led to her untimely death? Or is he also refusing security? What is really going on? Let's see here. Okay, difference is Harry has private security, Diana did not. The paranoia came from the lies told by Martin Bashir, who implied that her PPO were going to kill her. Okay, evidence. Okay, whatever. All right, so they're repeating the tabloid thing because the campaign that Princess Diana spoke about, this is from the campaign. Okay, to trash her, to do all of this, to prevent her from living her life. The campaign. Yes, this is part of the campaign.
Do you really believe that a campaign was being waged against you?
Yes, I did, absolutely. Yeah.
Why?
I was a separated wife of the Prince of Wales. I was a problem, full stop. Never happened before. What do we do with her?
Can't we pack her off to somewhere quietly rather than campaign against her?
She won't go quietly. That's the problem. I'll fight till the end.
Okay, next tweet. Okay, the important aspect of this case for me is that everything is made public. Prince Harry makes sure that RAVEC decision to deny him security is well documented so that they can do a Princess Diana where they claim after she died that she was the one who refused security. You see, this is the same narrative that they keep on spreading. Okay, Evening Standard. Do I have the article? Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one I just read. So she picked what is it? A portion of it. The Home Office said the decision to black Harry's security detail was rational and well within the permissible range of decisions open to RAVEC. RAVEC was not required to offer the claimant the opportunity to make representation in relation to the funding decision, and given the nature of the arguments now advanced by the claimant, the court can be confident that such representation would have been highly likely to have made no substantial difference in any event, they added. For some reason, those texts with Twitter, I don't know. There's something with it. Sometimes it just blur my eyes. I can't read them properly. Okay, if the courts don't rule in his favor, my suggestion is for Harry to never return. This kind of response will raise question for me as to whether the decision to deny security was made on the merit. Okay, let's also highlight, despite the judge tried to persuade the jury Diana request's verdict was unlawfully killing, the media did their best to bury the verdict. Harry is not letting that happen. Oh, I don't know about this part. Okay. History book will show what happened to Princess Diana and how Prince Harry has to fight to get security, which his father, the king, can control. Exactly. People are too short-sighted to understand why he is doing everything so public. Okay, go Harry, go. We are with you in this difficult time. Exactly. All right. So let's go to the next tweet. I think this is another article. Let's see here. That's the same thing. Did I? Yeah, that's the same thing. Let me make sure I grab everything. Or did I copy? Wait a second. That's that. Okay. I see what I did here. Copy. Okay, I almost messed up. Okay, police officers are not, quote, private bodyguard for the wealthy, and, quote, Home Office lawyers tell Prince Harry. Okay, I'll read the article. Okay, they were at the coronation. Okay, so let's read that first and then read the tweets after. So at least we have an idea what they're making reference to. Okay, police are not private bodyguard for the wealthy, Prince Harry told as he brings legal challenge over his UK security. Okay, the Duke of Sussex has been told it is not appropriate to allow wealthy people to buy armed police security. Where did that come from? So, okay, after a ruling that he couldn't have the same degree of protection after stepping down as a working royal, Prince Harry is attempting to bring a second legal challenge against the Home Office over his security arrangement when in the UK. He is seeking approval from the High Court for a judicial review. Okay, it's not suing. There's the part here, because in some old videos on PYTE, some people are saying he's suing. This one is not suing, it's review. Okay, he is seeking approval. Come on. He is seeking approval from the High Court for a judicial review over a decision that he should not be allowed to pay privately for a special trained Met Police security detail while in the country. Harry's lawyer argued that the ruling currently in place shouldn't prevent him from paying for officers out of his own pocket. All right. At a hearing on Tuesday, a judge was asked by Harry's legal team to allow the Duke to bring a case over decision taking by the Home Office and the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royal and Public Figures, RAVEC, in December 2021 and February 2022. The Home Office, opposing Harry's claim, said RAVEC considered it was not appropriate for wealthy people to buy protective security when it had decided that the public interest does not warrant someone receiving such protection on a public funded basis. But there he is. He said he's paying for it. Now they're giving him something else. Oh my goodness. You can be the visionary of your own life. Meghan Markle hails act of service. So that's a different thing, as she accepts Women of Vision Award. Okay, so this is something different. Robert Palmer Casey, representing the Home Secretary, said the committee also considered that, quote, it was not appropriate to support an outcome whereby wealthy individuals could buy protective security from specialist police officers, potentially including armed officers. He added, quote, that would be precisely the effect of the Duke's claim. Okay, lawyers for the Met Police interest party and the case said RAVEC had been reasonable in finding, quote, it's wrong for a policing body to place officers in harm's way upon paying of a fee by a private individual. The court was told the bid for the legal action to continue was related to an early claim brought by the Duke against the Home Office after he was told he will no longer be giving the same degree of personal protection security when visiting the UK. My goodness, my goodness. Lord, baggage for you. Baggage for you. Okay, a full hearing and that earlier challenge, which also focuses on RAVEC decision making and for which Harry secured permission to continue last summer, is yet to be held. Okay. The court was told today by Harry's lawyer that the Home Office delegate an issue of principle to RAVEC over, quote, whether an individual whose position had been determined by RAVEC not to justify protective security should be permitted to receive protective security but to reimburse the public purse for the cost of that security provision. RAVEC later concluded that, my goodness, individuals should not be permitted to privately fund protect. They keep on changing it on him. They keep on changing on him. God, do what you have to do with these people. My goodness. I think at this point, I don't think Harry really care. Like some of the comment that I'm reading is just that he wants to make it public. My goodness. Okay. Funding protective security, the judge was told. Rasheen Fatima Casey for Harry said, quote, RAVEC has exceeded its authority, its power, because it doesn't have the power to make this decision in the first place. Okay, and written argument, the barrister said RAVEC decision was inconsistent. That's what I'm saying here. In a written argument, the barrister said RAVEC's decision was inconsistent with legislation that allows the chief officer of police to provide special police services subject to payment. She added, quote, the principal disadvantage that is relied upon by RAVEC that allow payment for protective security and is contrary to the public interest and will undermine public confidence in the Metropolitan Police Service cannot be reconciled with the fact that Parliament has expressly allowed for the payment for such services. I think I read some part. They were online. Go back to some of my old videos. I think I read some of this stuff. Okay, she added, quote, by creating that discretion, Parliament has clearly decided that in principle payment for policing is not inconsistent with the public interest or public confidence in the Metropolitan Police Service. The barrister continues, quote, RAVEC has not provided any principle or rationale basis for drawing a distinction between the provision of protective security for those individuals within the RAVEC cohort who, according to the funding decision, are not permitted to privately fund protective security, and other private individuals who could privately fund protective security by making a request to the chief officer of police. Ms. Fatima also argued that RAVEC's decision was unreasonable and that the Duke was not giving any opportunity to make representations to the committee. Okay, some of the thing that was repeated from the other article. Matthew Butt, oh my God, somebody's name is like that. Matthew Butt Casey, for the Met said it was the only force capable of providing the protective security of the kind in the case deployed via the Royal and Specialist Protection. RASP, what is, okay, so Royal Specialist Protection, okay, command when RAVEC deemed it was in the public interest. Noting the unique risk of such work, he added, it cannot be right that officers are expected to present themselves and expose themselves to that level of risk. Okay, not in the public interest, but because a policing body is to be financially compensated. Okay, so there's Harry saying he's gonna pay for it, but you're saying there is a risk. I don't know. I'm confused with their reasoning. Okay, Robert Palmer Casey, representing the Home Office, said the funding decision related to protective security requiring a, quote, very unique set of skills and tactics and training being made specially available. Oh, now they're changing the thing here. Specially available for an individual, and was not about extra policing for events such as football matches, a marathon, or celebrities' wedding. Oh my God, they're changing the rule under him. My goodness. Do Charles really want Harry to be safe? Does Charles really want Harry to be safe in his country? My goodness. Mr. Palmer said the decision did not affect Harry's ability to ask the police to support a particular event, but said, quote, it is not just a question of you can buy what you like. This is a specialist resource not ordinarily provided. In written argument, Mr. Palmer said the funding decision was, quote, rational and well within the permissible range of decision open to RAVEC as the relevant expert body. Can you imagine that if some of the people who work for RAVEC, let's say the manpower, the people who's on the ground, the police, at some point when they're gonna cover, let's say, the royal family, they all call in sick because they will not provide security for, what is it, for Harry, because Harry is doing a lot of things over there for service people. Okay, he said the decision was not unlawful nor beyond the committee's powers, and that it was simply the setting of a policy position. Mr. Palmer said the unanimous decision of RAVEC, whose membership includes senior Home Office officials, senior officers of the Met Police, and senior officials of the royal household, was correct, that there was significant legal uncertainty over how the provision of protective security was covered by the law. The barrister added that there was no legal authority for the proposition that the concept of special police services encompasses the use of police officers as private bodyguard for the wealthy. He said apparent agreement by police forces said to be under a policing law include no example remotely comparable to the present issue, i.e. the deployment of specialist officer as bodyguard to an individual. Mr. Palmer said RAVEC was not required to offer Harry the chance to make representation over the funding decision, adding that they will, quote, have been highly likely to have made no substantial difference in any event. The hearing before Mr. Justice Chamberlain concluded on Tuesday, with the judge saying he hoped to provide a written ruling within the next week or so. It comes amid an ongoing High Court trial involving the Duke, in which he is bringing a contested claim against Mirror Group newspapers over allegation of unlawful information gathering. Harry, I'm telling you, Harry is suing everybody over there. Harry is also waiting for a ruling over whether similar cases against Publishers Associate Newspapers Limited, A&L, and News Group Newspapers, NGN, can continue. A judge is also expected over the Duke's libel claim against A&L, publisher of the Daily Mail, and Mail on Sunday over an article on his case against the Home Office. Whew, Harry's not playing. But these people, they change. It seems like, I don't know, it seems like they're changing the rules as they go. And it seems like they're making all these changes, or they're describing the type of personnel that will provide the sort of security, the skill set that these people required and all that. I think they're putting this on record so they could charge him a big chunk of money. That's what I think. If I were Harry, if they ever charge him for anything, I'll just say use the money that he paid for Frogmore, because then they took the house from him. All right, let's see some of the comment here. Okay, they were at the coronation. Is Chuck using the protection police when he is privately paying for Epstein Bessie's friend, Prince Andrew, was it free for his then mistress Camilla and her brood? That's another thing. Okay, of course, that despicable father and brother want Harry and his kids dead. This is what all this boil down to, it seems like. Okay, God is good. This is the boomerang shall return. Whatever it is that they wish on Harry, go back. Okay, what has it got to do with the price of fish? Okay, Prince Harry is not just wealthy though, he's the son of the king and a high value target who served 10 years in army. My goodness. Okay, what is that? No, the protection provided for Salman Rushdie cost far more, and all he did was writing a book, and no one questioned that, do they? Okay, I don't know who that person is, but it seems like this particular person get the same protection that Harry is requesting. Okay, after what's on the screen, that's it. Okay, he is the fifth in line to the throne. He was paraded in front of the props on the day of his birth. Okay, he has been frozen out of all the protection of others, and his position get only because he has a petty father and an angry brother. This should never have become about money. Okay, then get rid of the system where security risks are automatically bestowed upon someone as soon as they are born for the entire of their life. Okay, tell that lawyer to give evidence on his statement, or the Sussex Squad public can help him with receipt. Right, there's this. Or did someone forget to tell Kate Moss? That's the thing too. This is my example. That's the only one I'm aware of. Kate Moss wedding police by 35 officers. The police deployed 35 officers blockade a village for Kate Moss's wedding, compromising 1 inspector, 5 sergeant, and 29 police whatever. Alright, so there's this here. Let me move on. Okay, it seems like I am with phone hacking. Yeah, phone hacking. Next tweet, there's this here. That Lee Harpin, what he's like. Okay, The Guardian. I shared this on my community board. Alright, I'll read some of it and see. The link will be in the description. Reporter blackmailed the Mirror as it tried to cover up phone hacking, court told. Okay, a leading Mirror journalist allegedly blackmailed the company as it attempted to cover up phone hacking, the High Court has been told. Lee Harpin, who held a number of senior roles at the People and Sunday Mirror, was alleged to be a non-phone hacker whose understanding of illegal behavior at the newspaper group caused anxiety at board level. Harpin, who is now the political editor of Jewish News, told The Guardian, wow, okay, quote, I categorically deny the allegation. I mean, what did you expect him to say? Come on. All right, no one has contacted me from either side to give evidence, so I have not given a chance to respond to this outrageous allegation. End quote. The claims were made in a witness statement to the phone hacking trial by Brian Bashman, an investor and PR executive. He told the court on Tuesday he extensively researched the Mirror's involvement in phone hacking and shared his finding with the company executive and media reporters. Prince Harry and more than 100 other claimants alleged there was a widespread culture of phone hacking and other illegal activity by journalists at the Daily Mirror, Sunday Mirror, and the People newspaper over several decades. Right, so there's more. Oh, it's not that long. I feel like, did I read it? All right. The court heard Basham went to lunch with David Gribson, the Mirror's then chairman, in 2012, and advised him to clear the decks on phone hacking to avoid being swept up in the same scandal as the News of the World. At that time, the Mirror was still publicly insisting its journalists had not been involved in phone hacking. Basham told the court that senior staff, including board members of the listed company, were aware that voicemail interception had been widely used by its journalists to claim the company lawyers were openly making jokes about checking mobile phone messages, to widespread laughter in the newsroom. Okay, he also alleged that the former Mirror chief executive Sly Bailey, who was in charge when phone hacking is alleged to have been at risk its peak. Quote, it orchestrated a cover-up. He said Bailey had, quote, bullshitted her way around a lot and that investors had been misled. Bashan said his research into the Mirror later led him to conclude the board was particularly concerned by Harpin, whom he described as the telephone hacking dolphin or heir apparent. Harpin was arrested on suspicion of phone hacking while working at the Mirror in 2015, but was never charged. The Crown Prosecutor Service dropped its phone hacking investigation into dozens of journalists after concluding there was insufficient evidence to provide realistic prospect of conviction. Oh my God, they paid them off to stop that. Oh my Lord, just my humble opinion. Bashim alleged that around this time, Harpin was blackmailing the company to prevent them from penalizing him for his phone hacking activities by threatening to blow the whistle on everything he knew about their phone hacking problem if they did. My goodness. The Mirror barrister suggests Bashim was defaming individuals on the basis of anonymous sources. Okay, Mirror Group newspapers had already paid out more than £100 million in settlement and legal fees for phone hacking. It is fighting for test cases, including Harry's, because it disputes their evidence. It also argues the claims have been filed too late. The court is continuing to hear evidence from the witness in the 7-week trial, and with the Duke of Sussex expected to give evidence at the start of June. All right, so my eyes is starting to get tired. I think I need, okay, so let's read this. Okay, I have one more. Okay, Mr. Harpin denied committing any crime or later covering them up to advance his career opportunity. Let's see here. Harpin, who is now political editor of Jewish News. Yeah, I remember reading that part. Let's go to the next tweet, and that'll be it for this video. And I am tired. All right, there's this here. A former investigative journalist has alleged there was an orchestrated cover-up of phone hacking by Trinity Mirror. He is a witness for Prince Harry and other claimants in a civil trial against Mirror Group newspaper. All right, so I'm not gonna click on this, but the link will be under this. Well, I'll click on it to grab the link to give it to you, but I'm not gonna read it. I'm tired now. All right, it is 3:30 and I'm just exhausted. Let's do a quick prayer. Let's do prayer for court victory. Court victory for Harry. Right, there's no, did I spell something? Oh, I didn't put space. Okay, so there's no, for victory court cases. Need prayer for victory in court cases. We take your question seriously and we'll pray. Okay, and we'll pray for you. Submit a prayer request. Okay, so let's look for an image. There's none. What happened? Okay, let's pick, I feel like I did this already. Let's pick one. Okay, let's do this one. Prayer for wisdom in court. Dear Lord in heaven, I am due in court shortly. I am involved in a tussle with a fellow man. Today I pray for your grace. I pray for direction and wisdom. Help me put my emotion in check. Let me speak with honor and clarity. Let me not say anything that may land me in trouble. Grant me humility and gently give me wise word to say. Let me not babble my way to defeat. Okay, so that's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. Alright, so that is it. I have more, but I'm just tired right now. I'll leave it for another day. Like something like this. Let's see. Not that. That has to do with Harry and Meghan award ceremony thing. Okay. that. Okay, so I sort of put this in a video all at once of all the images. All right, so that's it. Thank you for your support. I'll record this another time.
This is the future.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.